Hello, I'm Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to a special report from here at the Beehive, where Bill English has just released the budget for 2010. And it's a cracker. A widespread reform of the taxation system, the biggest we've seen in more than a decade. There's an increase in the GST rate, as expected, from 12.5% to 15%. There are cuts in the personal income tax rates right across the spectrum, with particularly the top income tax rate going from 38 cents in the dollar to 33. It now matches up with the 33-cent rate for family trusts. There's also changes in the way that foreign investors are taxed in New Zealand, with the introduction of a new thin capitalisation threshold that effectively forces foreign investors to pay more tax in New Zealand. There are changes to the way that property investing is taxed, particularly by those people who are claiming working for family benefits. Essentially, the government is attempting to ring-fence the losses made by rental property investors against those people who are trying to reduce their personal income tax. We're also seeing a significant change in the way the government is taxing the corporate sector, a cut in the corporate income tax rate from 30 cents in the dollar to 28 cents in the dollar. This leapfrogs us ahead of Australia and will be one of the big surprises in the budget. Overall, the government says this is broadly fiscally neutral and is forecasting an improvement in the budget deficit situation, where previously we were looking at deficits until basically until the end of the decade. We're now looking at a surplus sometime 2015, 2016. We're looking at deficits running around 3 to 4% for the next couple of years, 3 to 4% of GDP. That's actually much better than the rest of the world. But the government is also wary about increasing debt too much. There's other announcements as well, in particular the introduction of inflation-linked bonds. This will be something for investors to watch out for. Overall, I think this is a comprehensive change to the way our economy works. Not as much as I'd like to have seen. I would have liked to have seen a land tax, but the government says that would have been too much of a shock to the system. As it is, these property taxation changes are likely to put a real dampener on the thrust into property by rental investors. And it may see rents increase. The Treasury is forecasting an increase of just over 1%, but I don't think it's going to be too big of an increase. So, the government has delivered. It is a comprehensive reform of the economy and the government and the way we interact with that government through the tax system. But is it enough to really improve our economic growth rates? We'll see. I would have liked to have seen slightly more on the property taxation front, but interestingly, Bill English said in the press conference during the lockup that there may be more the government could do in this area, particularly around the taxation of property and taxation of savings, where the government also reduced the pie tax rates from 30 cents to 28 cents in the dollar. That will be a benefit for those people saving in pie schemes. So there we have it. A cracker of a budget, the most comprehensive set of tax reforms in a decade, from Bill English and the National Coalition Government. I'm Hickey. That was a special report brought to you from here at the Beehive in Wellington and brought to you in association with the BNZ.